Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Jess. So I already filmed this intro and the garden tour today, and I'm refilming it because we just got a massive hailstorm. And so I'm going to start off by showing you the tour of before the hailstorm, and then I'll give you the tour after the hailstorm. The tour after is very short, but you can kind of see the difference. This is more for my own use of seeing kind of if the garden comes back from this type of destruction, but I just thought I'd give you guys kind of that before and after shot because it is quite impressive, the difference that it makes. So go ahead, watch the tour, and I hope you enjoy it. June 4th, and a lot has changed. I haven't been able to get out and show you the garden this last week, so I wanted to get out here really quick. It's supposed to rain in the next 30 minutes. I feel like I always do my garden tours right when it's supposed to rain, and it rains on me halfway through. But a lot has changed, so I wanted to get out here when the lighting's actually good, so you guys can kind of see how things are doing. And I'm really pleased with kind of everything that's going on. So we're going to start on our patio. That is where I'm at currently. I just have a few planter boxes that I wanted to show you a little bit, and then we'll move into the yard. So this is the connection between our deck. This is our garage, and it goes back to our house. But we just have two little planter boxes here, and I have kind of a coral impatiens and this blue lobelia, and the lobelia is doing really good in both of these boxes. The coral impatiens, not so much. I'm not a huge fan of impatiens, but it gets mostly shade back here, so I thought they would be kind of a good plant to set back here. But I just don't love the flowers. I think they get really damaged easily. Here's kind of a view of our deck from here. So I have two planters on either side of the hot tub that are kind of trying to be a little bit more tropical. So they both have a canna in them and an elephant ear. This one did have a pineapple sage in it, but the dogs got to it and ripped it out. This canna, I believe, is called like orange sherbet or something, and the elephant ear is just starting to kind of come up, but it looks really good. We'll see how it likes that smaller pot. And then this one is called Mango, and it is a really pretty pink color. Here is an elephant ear. It looks amazing. We bought these on sale. They were only $1.50 a bulb, which is great. Here are some petunias, and this is lantana, and it looks like they're about to bloom again, so that'll be really exciting. And then we got another little shoot of the elephant ear coming up from the bulb. Then over here by our bird feeder we have hyssop, I believe is what it's called. It doesn't have any blooms on it yet, but I think it's supposed to get really pretty kind of tropical looking orange flowers. Here is kind of my kitchen garden. I've already harvested a bunch of lettuce from this rail planter. I have just kind of salad varieties planted in these boxes. We have lettuce and spinach. In this we have some beets and carrots, which you can kind of see. Everything is very tangled in here because my dog was in it and moved a bunch of the seeds around. Otherwise they were all in rows, but I kind of need to come in here and thin out some of these. And then over in this corner I planted another elephant ear, which this one's just small and a baby, but we'll see. This planter's only, you know, maybe 6 inches deep, so we'll see how that one does, but its roots can kind of spread out. We have some kale back there. Up here in that one is also some lettuce varieties, and here we have some more stuff like arugula and oric and different lettuce. Here are just two more planters that have lobelia and some petunias in them. This isn't the most exciting spot, but this is kind of, oh, do you have a pine cone? This is kind of off of our deck. We have this big pine tree that kind of leans over our deck here. And then I think in these corners are a bunch of lilies. We planted some salvia and black-eyed Susans underneath the pine tree and an ice plant. We're just kind of seeing what will work. it looks like the ice plant is actually starting to bloom, which is really exciting. So we have one little bloom on that. But the salvia and black-eyed Susans don't look amazing. And then I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's coming up as well. This here is our little shed, and a lot has actually changed this past 2 weeks with the shed. So as you can see, the irises are blooming. This one was just covered in blooms, and they've already died back and faded. And the blooms are kind of just looking wilty. I'm trying to water them more, try to kind of preserve the blooms, but they're kind of fading quickly. I got another harvest. I think that would make 4 now out of the rhubarb. It's doing really good. It started going to seed, and I just read to pick it off, and so that's what I did. And it seems to be doing fine. I planted 4 elephant ears in the front here, so 1 there, 1 in this corner, and then 2 on those corners as well. I just think they look really tropical and they get nice and big. Do not eat my elephant ears, ma'am. But I thought they just would look really tropical and really big in this area and look really cool next to our pool. And then we have lilies that are all about to bloom. Here's one of the hostas. I kind of want to say it's an autumn frost or something like that. And then we have another elephant ear, which really isn't doing a whole lot, but it's trying. Our trumpet vine has started growing leaves. It's still dead on this bottom half. And then our clematis is starting to bloom, which is really exciting. So those 2 are blooming up there, and then I need to come back and kind of pin this back up along the trellis. It's kind of growing outwards instead of up. But you can see all of the buds on the lilies. And I think all of these are ornamental lilies, so that should be really pretty in this bed as well. This side of the bed is more of a work in progress. I planted a propagation off of the rhubarb. Here is an elephant ear that's actually doing well, and it's setting up a bunch of shoots. Our bleeding heart is now pretty much done. There's maybe 1 flower bud on it left. And then this hosta is really beautiful and big and glorious, and I'm thinking I'll need to come and kind of split him next year, just so that we can kind of spread him out throughout this bed, because if I step back and show you, this side is looking pretty pitiful. So I kind of need to come through here and maybe split him up a little bit and just kind of fill out this bed a little bit more. But here is kind of a overview of the yard. The grass isn't super green right now. We haven't really started watering. We need to fix 1 sprinkler head, and then we should be able to go. But that's our plan for tomorrow. We have these planter hanging baskets all along the outside of the vegetable garden. Nothing's really blooming at the moment in them. But so if we go into the garden, this is currently what it's looking like. And then this is the she shed. We're trying to still kind of figure out what to do. We hung up a bird cage, hung up some seeds on the wall, just kind of some different decorations. I have a sink that I need to go pick up from a family member that we're going to put in here kind of as a potting shed sink. But I have a little bit of work to do in this area just to kind of make it look sort of cutesy. We have some of the catmint planted in here, so that should fill up that planter. That's a lemon verbena. And then we have this cute little bike holder that has some succulents in it. This is a zebra haworthia, and this I want to say aeonium, but that's not right, and I know that's not right, but it's starting to get very sun-kissed, which is really kind of cute. So if we just kind of start along this edge here and kind of work our way around, this is a Mazel Basil by Proven Winners. It's doing really well. We harvested a bunch from it last night and used it in our dinner. These are all sweet peppers, and then we have beets planted underneath and throughout the rows to kind of fill in this space and utilize that a little bit more. Then again, in all of the trellises we have spinach and peas planted. This one's the one that's doing the worst. This is going to be our hot pepper bed. These are all of the white tulips that are now just kind of dying back. I have some jalapenos planted throughout, I think 5 in here, and we're going to get a few more hot peppers and plant them up in there. These are my bee feeders. I just usually fill them up with water. I need to come and refill them now. This little spot is just so cute and is going to fill in so nicely, but we have this little birdhouse and this fun trellis, but we had really pretty thalia daffodils. That's what these greens still are. Underneath of them we have planted bush beans, so those are just starting to come up, so that should be really fun and we should get a good little harvest out of those. I need to weed in here bad, you guys. These are carrots. They're looking really good and healthy. And then underneath here we have some more peas climbing up. I did plant a flower, but they're not really doing much, but I wanted them to kind of climb up as well with the peas and be a blue flower with them. We have a peach hollyhock planted in the back, so that should get nice and tall and be really pretty behind this trellis. And then underneath of it in this back area, all along here, we planted a purple gomphrena. I grew these from seed, so we have one bloom on each of them. So hopefully they should fill out here soon. Then in this bed we have more of the daffodils that are kind of starting to die back, and we've planted tomatoes, and we have a blend of San Marzano, I think is how you say them, and Amish tomatoes. So there's 4 tomatoes in this bed. Here's a shot of the other spinach and peas on their trellis. I harvested a ton of spinach last night, so the spinach plants are looking a little bit thin. Here is our strawberry bed. This side is now blooming. Before it was only this side that was blooming. So this side's just a little bit more delayed, but you can just see how loaded up with strawberries this side is now, which is really, really exciting. But there's just tons of them in there. This is one of the flower bed spots. I'm not so sure if any of my perennials will bloom this year. We'll see, maybe they'll bloom later this season. I just maybe need to be more patient. But I have the black night delphinium in the back here. Then we have 2 bells of Ireland plants, a white lupine, a purple lupine, and I don't remember the name of this one, but it's like calendula or something like that, but it makes little white bell flowers. Now I know other people's lupines are already blooming, and that is why I'm skeptical of whether or not these will bloom. I don't see any signs of blooms quite yet, but they are making new leaves, and so I just kind of want them to establish anyways in this area. And then we have mini pumpkins that are starting to come up, and I will train to crawl up this trellis, so that'll be really fun. In this bed we have alliums that are just about ready to bloom. You can see that they're just starting to open here. I think they'll be white and maroon potentially. Behind them I planted zucchini, and I planted another seed or 2 in here, but this is one zucchini plant that's coming up currently. Here is this trellis. They're kind of going crazy at the moment. I'm just trying to kind of keep up with training them to stay along the trellis. And like I said, I need to come in here and weed bad, so don't judge me. But with a lot of the seedlings, you don't want to weed until the seedlings are big enough for you to distinguish them. So that's kind of why some of them are more weedy than others, because I've planted seeds. But we have 3 more tomatoes back here. I put cages on 2 of them, and I'll probably just put a bamboo stick by that little guy. My walking onions look like they're about ready to bloom, which should be really exciting, and the bees will love it. This little bed looks like a complete chaos and messy area, but we have carrots and radishes and oric and kale that is starting to kind of fill in. The radishes are looking really good. I can probably actually harvest this one. He might be a little bit small, but I don't like them very spicy, so I would rather harvest them smaller. Then in this bed We have a bunch of different flowers. I have some sedum, daisies that are all about ready to bloom, cranberry cosmos in the back that 2 have bloomed and I picked them off, so hopefully they'll send out more shoots and more flowers. I have another bee feeder. This is our pink celery. It's looking really good. It looks like it must have rained and kind of covered the plant with some mud, but it's looking really kind of cute. It hasn't really gotten much bigger though, so I don't know how well they'll do, but I've never grown celery before. I planted some more zucchini in this little area. And then this is our purple of Sicily cauliflower, which the plants are looking amazing. This one got hit really bad with hail, and you can kind of tell how damaged some of those leaves are. But this one's looking great. I don't see any heads forming yet, but they're doing really well. And then our raspberries are starting to bloom in the back. You can hear the thunder, so I don't know how close we are to getting rained on, but I'll try to go quickly. So this is the bed in front of our window. We have salvia planted here. These 3 are purple, those 3 are white, and those 3 are purple. And then I have hen and chicks planted in between them. The only one that is blooming right now is this white salvia. Well, it's starting to rain, so we'll go quick. Here are 3 peach foxgloves and a pink poppy. They haven't bloomed yet. We'll see how they do this season. Then I have black-eyed Susan, daisy, pink echinacea, and then some roses. The boxwoods are looking really good. And then this is the front flower bed. A lot of the tulips are done now. The alliums are even starting to kind of be done. They still have a few. The pansies are still looking amazing. I need to come out here and probably deadhead. And then the salvia that are planted around. And then I have some Johnny jump ups that I planted in here not too long ago, actually. I just transplanted them. But I have some rocks in my bird bath, my very dirty bird bath, and that's so the bees and butterflies can land on it. This is a cottonless cottonwood, and we unfortunately discovered that it has an issue and will need to be cut down. I can't remember what the guy called it, but it's just completely rotting here in the middle, and some of our arborists in town looked at it and said that we'll need to cut this guy down. Not necessarily anytime soon, but within the next year he'll probably need to be cut down. So that's a little bit of a bummer. You guys, I literally filmed this tour and not even an hour later, look at all of this hail. Ugh. Come and look. You like ice? Or hail? Well, here's my beautiful elephant ear. Got a little destroyed. And my canna leaves got a little destroyed. Oh man, oh man. This is quite interesting. Good news, my elephant ear is still in one piece. The lettuce batches don't look so great. Well, the irises definitely don't look like they made it, but the elephant ears aren't completely destroyed. This corner got hit kind of hard, and this little one got hit pretty bad. Rhubarb looks fine, I guess. The irises, whew, don't look so good. It's a little slippery down here. The clematis are still standing. The peppers don't look like they enjoyed it all too much. This one got a little beaten up, but otherwise the other ones look okay. Nope. Sorry, you dig in here. You don't get to come in. Bye. The peas don't look so great. They have snapped. Maybe I can still salvage this one. Well, folks, this is why you get a hail net, that's for sure. The tomatoes are looking a little flooded. My mini pumpkins, those two got zapped, but I bet they'll be okay. This one survived. All of the flowers here got quite zapped. The zucchini got hit kind of hard. This kind of worked as a hail net. Looks like the strawberries are still all on there. Pieces got pretty broken off here, but we'll just kind of push them back up and see if they do much. The spinach got kind of hit hard. The cauliflower was looking glorious, now looks quite pitiful and sad. That's fairly disappointing. This is the one that looked beautiful. Looks like it got really beaten up. And the daisies got hit a little bit. That's about it. You know what the irony is that I was actually going to be measuring and building myself a hail net tomorrow. So that's what I get for procrastinating, I guess. It's kind of a bummer, but I'm hopeful that a few of my plants will come back. The tomatoes I think will be okay. They weren't setting any fruit or anything yet. They were just starting. So maybe it'll just kind of act as a pruning. And same with the peppers. I'm hoping that they'll be okay. We'll kind of see what makes it. I would highly suggest that if hail is prevalent in your area, that you take the precautionary measure and get a hail net and do it early in the season after the last snow, just because you put a lot of effort into your garden just for it to be gone like that. And I think it hailed here for a total of 2 minutes. So we didn't get it as bad as other areas in the Black Hills did. My parents' house about an hour away got tennis ball sized hail. I think our biggest one were maybe quarters. So, you know, I can't even imagine the devastation that they just had. 2020's been a rough year for a lot of people. I'm not completely beaten up about my garden getting hit, because I know there was a lot more destruction done to other people's property that has more value for them. But I just kind of wanted to show you kind of the state that it is now. And again, these videos are more for my own personal record, so you know, this is kind of a way for me to kind of see how things do after the hail. And so I'm looking forward to the next garden tour to see if anything's coming back looking good. But that is all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this garden tour or found it a little bit interesting, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.